Hey, what is up, guys? So we decided to set ourselves a challenge today. The challenge is to build a deck that does not involve Dragoon. Oh, sorry, build this deck that doesn't involve Dragoon, because if we build this as Dragoon Turbo, then Subterror is just the supplementary package, and we're not actually playing the game Guardian. So, going back to the actual very fun deck of Subterror, we actually got it to work to an extent. To a very minuscule extent. Like, this is not going to be cash, this is not going to be top deck. But it is going to annoy the hell out of everybody at locals, and that's the true dream of every Yu-Gi-Oh player. Or me. One of the two, but I'll accept that it's the true dream of every Yu-Gi-Oh player because maximum copy and not here. Anywho, so this is Subterror. This is the version that I tried to build that did not involve Phoenix Enforcer, Dragoon, or really any of the stuff that kind of like really turns it into Protect the Castle deck, and we got it to actually work relatively okay. Relatively being the word because a lot of it kind of did backfire on me. We'll go through the stuff that backfired really, really badly. But we'll start off with like the non-Subterror card, the main non-Subterror card. Lord of the Heavenly Prison. So we played this for the sole purpose of I'm still afraid of Lightning Storm and Evenly, because the amount of people that just still play those cards in going second, even though they don't really do as much to cash, and that nearly every deck has a form of out to it. It's just basically just guaranteeing that my back row is just not going to be touched this game. That's fine. We're not doing the fun part though, where we use this to set Super Bowl. As much as I'd love to, we're trying to keep this a little bit more separate from my Eldritch, because unlike Eldritch, my resources don't come back as quick. It takes a while to actually accumulate my resources, so I can't just waste it on Lord of Heaven settings. Then we play the one Umistrix. Again, this is just the one behemoth that you play. You don't play any of the other behemoths. All the other behemoths are just terrible. The only reason this is good is because it banishes to remove. You can keep on just doing this nearly every turn, just one card removing. Fiendus, this is your hand trap. It's a very good hand trap because it not only negates stuff, it also brings back your Subterrors. Fair enough, you do run out of them very, very quickly, but that's why we played the spell, so that we don't lose straight away. Subterror Guru, because this one searches any Subterror stuff that you need, as well as it changes stuff to face down defense, which I came to realize this, plus any other Subterror card, outs Kashtira really easily. Like, forget Book of Eclipse or anything like that, this is the real Kashtira killer when you go first, because you set the monster. Then what do? Nothing. That's what they do. They do absolutely nothing. You just have to hope that you actually kind of get that far. And then we play the one Nemesis Archer. 9 times out of 10, I'm ramming this into a monster to summon the Umistrix from my deck, or a Guru. We aren't using its effective shovel stuff back because it doesn't matter. We're just ramming this into a monster and praying that it works out. Then we play the one Duality. We don't special summon except for the Umistrix and the Fiendess, which is very rare that we're going to special summon from this, so we can actually play this over Frost, and it works perfectly fine. The 3 extra, we don't care about extra. It's very rare that you'll summon anything from there, so it's literally extra. We play the one Cave Clash because this is the one that adds back the Fiendus from the grave and makes your monsters quite big after a while. Like, the amount of times that my opponents rammed into a set Guru and then forgot that I have like a set Fiendus and Umistrix, and the Guru actually has reasonably big defense now. It's quite funny. One Terraforming because they searches the Hidden City and just provides consistency. The 3 Hidden City because you don't play any less than this. You never play any less than this. This is the free searcher, this is the one that flips up your card, and this is the one that negates attacks, which I keep forgetting that this negates attacks, but one day I will learn. Then we play the 2 Dogmatic Punishment. We don't play any more than this because we play the Ice Dragons over it, because this is not as useful. Fair enough, the free popping's good, however, your opponent's got some stuff that kind of prevent destruction of the Ice Dragons over it. Then we play the triple Ice Dragons Prison. This is the better removal card that I find, because the amount of stuff that it's just your opponent just plays into it. They forget that this is actually a card that exists in the game, so they just lose to it repeatedly. Triple Needle Sealing. This is Torrential Tribute. However, it will never affect you because you can go Needle Sealing and then chain the Guru to set itself, as well as one card in front of the draws, and then wipe the board from there, and then it just does nothing to you. I was tempted to play this at more copies, however, it doesn't come up as often because we play the track trick as well, so we have basically 4 copies nearly. Skill Drain was a card where. So the theory behind me playing triple Skill Drain in this deck was because you'd have the Skill Drain face up, and then you flip up the final battle saying that your Subterror can't be negated, so then your opponent just loses to that. But then it kind of got worse because you kind of wanted the effects of final battle that made the Subterrors bigger. So this card it's good and it's not. I'm more putting it in the category of I need to remove it from this list because it's not doing what it's supposed to. 9 times out of 10, it hurts me more than my opponent. Then we play the 3 Solemn Judgment, 3 Strike. I just don't want to deal with anything in the universe. I just don't want to. They're there because I just don't want to deal with any problem. The 3 Final Battle because free card is free card. I want my monsters to be big. I want to be able to activate this and then Chain Guru to set my opponent's stuff. We don't want any less than this. And then the 3 Trap Trick because it's a free access into Punishment, Ice Dragon's Prison, Needle Ceiling, all the good stuff. I've actually once had to use it to set a final battle, but that very rarely comes up. Most of the time it's used for Needle Ceiling and Ice Dragon's Prison. Then for the side deck, it's not the greatest, but it does what it needs to do, I guess. So we play the other Lord of the Heavenly. When we go first, we decide this one. We just want to guarantee that we're not getting blown out instantly. Double Nibiru, it sometimes comes up. To be honest, I contemplate playing 3 of this inside instead of the double Lord of the Heavenly Prison because this actually puts in more work than the actual Subterror stuff, and also because it just tributes on all the fun stuff. The 1 Harpies and the 3 Lightning Storm because this is basically just a better and worse version of Lightning Storm, and this is just a board breaker. That's it. And the reason why this is played over evenly is because the amount of times you'll end up with no face cards on the field, and you still Lightning Storm your opponent, and then you go into your Subterror. That whole 3 card combo. Necro Valley because it's amazing. The only card that's reviving stuff from your graveyard is Fiendus, and you can live without it. Sort of. But if you're up against double anti-spell fragrance, I am tempted to play this in the main 3 over the Skill Drain because it puts in more work. Double deck can only be 1. Every single card in this deck is a different type, I think. Just double check. Yep, everything's a different type. So it doesn't affect you in the slightest. And 3 Wakened Dragons because my opponent walks into this half the time. The amount of times where my opponent's gone Lightning Storm and I Chain Trap Trick to set this, and then I just get a free Last Warrior and they can't deal with it at all. Kind of good like that. Then for the extra deck, we play the double Natis. Double Last Warrior, and then this is just free popping. Last Warrior is my opponent walks into Waking the Dragon, I win. Double Atignister, so this is better and worse than Tis. So if my opponent kills something, I just shovel back one of their monsters. The amount of times that I'll have this just sat in the graveyard, my opponent forgets it's there, and then they just lose free stuff. Double Ulti Falcon, I might take this out for an Exterior. This is again Waking the Dragon target, however Exterior is a lot better than double Earth Charmer. We don't make this one. We have very, very rarely made this. And if we have, it's because I've been using it for research pet. Nothing else. But chances are you're not going to summon it. Double Phoenix, again, don't summon it. Unicorn, don't summon it. And the card that we summon more often than we should, Relinquish Animal. Because the amount of times where I've normal summoned the Fiendus, they've negated it, and then I've made this and stolen their monster. And that's just how we win. It's just how we do it. This makes zones actually relevant again. Forget that Mech Knight was once a deck. This is the card that makes your opponent afraid of putting things wrong. So there are some things that I would change with it. Obviously, the skill drains probably come out for anti-spells. Sometimes I don't feel like 3 Storm Strike is actually useful. Sometimes I want it to. Same with the Ice Dragons. I want to put it down to 2 so that I can play other different types of floodgates. Prosperity, I go back and forwards between extra and prosperity. Like in my current elf wish list, I play the prosperity because I value having the correct card over the draw 2. However, in this, it's kind of a half and half with it. I don't mind the draw 2, but there are certain times where I want to dig into the correct cards, so I get the things that I need. As for the Nibirus, I think Golden is probably better. Lord of the Heavenly Prison, still going to keep it. Not taking it out, not risking just getting blown out. And the Necro Valley, I think it's still useful. Fair enough. It doesn't do a lot against the top decks. However, it does enough against everything else. As I've learned my lesson with Crystal Beast, it does what it needs to do. It doesn't do any more than that. But besides that, it seems to be an alright deck. If anyone has any suggestions on how to improve this, I would love to know, because Control is always one of those decks where it's kind of harder, especially when you're playing the lower end Control, like Subterror or Altergeist. You actually have to play it very consistently and have to have the correct sort of handcraft for the correct sort of circumstances. But besides that, I can't really say much on the deck. I can't do anything either. So if anyone has any suggestions, please chuck them forward. So if anyone has any suggestions, please chuck them forward, and I'll be signing out.